long you gonna leave the woman stranded, alone to raise the babies? You used to work hard for the ladies, and press the goddess, you can't do without it. Show us respect, to you we give our best, so we can go on and on. We see your family get stronger, stronger. Family is our power, together we will reign. Reprogram our mind and make our people do the same. Unify our da-da-da, it's not an option, but I die for my people, so I can watch it, I can watch it. Black boy, boy fly, fly, black girl, girl fly, fly, black girl, girl fly, fly, black boy, boy fly, boy fly. Girl fly, you gon' fly, you gon' fly, we gon' fly. You gon' fly, you gon' fly, we gon' fly.
The state of the race is African people are dying. African people are dying in deserts. African people are dying in the jungle. African people are dying on concrete. We die so much we've gotten used to dying. We believe we should die young. We believe we should die barbarically. We believe we should die exploited, beaten down. We believe children should be shot in the head because we haven't done anything about it. If we haven't done anything about it, it must be acceptable behavior. African people are dying in the deserts, in the jungles, on concrete. All we have to do is turn on the news and see African people dying. The first 10, 15 minutes of the news is African people dying. Some people tell me, I don't even look at the news. I say, why don't you look at the news? Because then white people lying. I say, why else don't you look at the news? So all they got was one black folk done to another black folk. Then clean it up, because one day they won't have nothing to say about us. Not a word, because they ain't going to say nothing good. In Somalia, African people are dying. They will not let a government emerge in Somalia. They want the land, labor, and resources of our people. In Somalia, African people are dying. Genocide. In Liberia, they will not let a government emerge. They like us feeding on one another. They inspire the divide and rule. We're dying all over Liberia, hacking each other up, dying. Genocide. In Rwanda, we're black on black, instigated by white people. Dying, butchering, hacking up women and children. Killing each other because we've lost our culture, our struggle culture, our revolutionary culture. African people dying in Somalia, in Liberia, in Rwanda. In Grenada, they had a revolution going on there. I was there. 6 or 8 weeks before the cowardly invasion of the United States troops, we were working on the roads. We were talking with the children who had sunshines in their eyes for the first time. They had never been to school before because neither the colonial regime or the dictator Eric Gary would let them go to school. So they were going to school, breathing free air, full employment, no prostitution. Then the divide and rule, they bring us down, genocide. Jamaica, oh, beautiful Jamaica. When I first went to Jamaica in 1977, an American dollar was worth $1.35 Jamaican. Now it's 38 Jamaican dollars to one no good American dollar. The economy's broken down. They use political murder and carnage and Booker. They put class against class, light skin against black skin, dying genocide. In South Central genocide, in New York genocide, in Newark genocide, in Chicago, Detroit, LA, genocide. Then when I write a book, Black Holocaust, the only people step to me is black people. Talking about, oh, Brother Dale, you think they'll kill us all? I don't think they could kill us all, Dale. I don't think there's conspiracy to kill us all. Why would you say that, Brother Dale? How could you kill all of our people? I said, well, where are the Arawak and the Kalinagos, the red people of the islands from the Bahamas to Trinidad and Tobago? Dead. They killed them all. All of them. Where's the Tasmanians? They kill them all and then call them devils to justify the carnage, the slaughter, the pain. Dying. They hold our babies up on CNN, on these right-wing religious Christian programs, dying. Send me money to stop this baby from dying. Look at this baby. He who feels it knows it. If you don't feel it, you're not African-centered yet. If you're not mad and pissed off and want to kill something, you're not African-centered yet. Matter of fact, you're not even human. To see your own kind broken down, torn apart, blown apart, gone. And don't be pissed off, you're not alive. So die, nigga, die. How is it that we don't see it? Before we even go into any lecture, I always say, how is it we don't feel it? How is it we don't see it? It's the work of the American nigger factory. The American nigger factory make niggers. Malcolm said, a child isn't born dumb, a child is made dumb. The American nigger factory molds black children, beautiful babies, into niggers, and that's what you were talking about when I arrived. They blow their minds apart with two components. One is the white supremacist, anti-human, anti-African curriculum of their schools and educational institutions, which we gladly trot our children off. We grab our child at the age of 5 and walk them into the kindergarten, crying, tears running down our eyes, because baby going to school. Baby's going to get their brains slaughtered. And we sanction it. We hand the baby off. This beautiful black child, just hand them off to the enemy. And we know they're the enemy. We know they hate us. Why do we do that? We're too lazy to build our own institutions. We don't have enough love for the neighbor's child as we have for our own child. And some of us don't even love our own. It's the American nigger factory. In the year 1997, they still say Cristobal Colon, or what is named Christopher Columbus, still discovered something, was some kind of hero. They still tell you George Washington could not tell a lie. The faggot never said he had slaves. Then he's a liar. But in the humanities, where they say the Greeks are this and the Greeks are that, the Romans was this and the Romans are that, and the Tigris Euphrates gave birth to civilization, mankind, that lie that we know is a lie still exists. Academic terrorism and culture banditry slaughters the aspirations in the mind. By the time we pay any attention to the children, they're gone. We sent them to the people to teach them to hate us. We, the people dark and the blue, got to go better than this. We ain't building nothing as they destroy everything. They see themselves sitting in Africa, sucking on a mint julep. And one little white, little ugly child turned to his ugly little parent and say, whatever happened to those people, Daddy? You know those people had those pretty colors. You know, Daddy, you know those that run so fast, jump so high, sing so good, and kabooyaka, booyaka all night? What happened to them, Daddy? Say, they lost their history and they were gone. Even though we made a lot of noise to say that we were coming, they didn't respond, so we killed them. Isn't it nice you now live in the Horn of Plenty? We finally got the Garden of Eden. We control Africa. They're gone. All of them. The ancestors moan when they hear that. The ancestors cry out for us, wake up! How much dying does it take to make us save something? How much dying does it take to make us respond? How much dying does it take to make us human again? Hue meaning color. So the American nigger factory scrambles the brain, hey? Makes chocolate white people out of all beautiful African child. And we watch Jenny Jones and Sally Jeffrey Raphael. We let them sit and watch that. I want you to ask the sister, why are you letting your daughter watch that? Oh, it's just television. No, sister. You tell me you're conscious. I'm not talking about somebody who's unconscious, because if they don't know, they don't know. But you tell me you're conscious. How do you watch her? And when she mirror that behavior, that's part of the American nigger factory. The educational system and the knockout punches, mass communications. Superman, Batman, and all kinds of superheroes flying through white skin, while the predator, he be black with dreadlocks. The alien's a bald-headed brother running around with a tail. We know these things. We don't pass nothing on but our decadence. We as a people must own up to that before we can move on. Every night, I try to expunge the madness in me. And I'm supposed to be conscious. I have to review everything I did that day to make sure something just didn't ease in. To make sure I didn't become arrogant. To make sure I didn't become judgmental to those that don't know. To make sure I do the best I can. And man, I'm going to have a heck of a session with myself tonight for being late. I mean that. I mean that. Because let me tell you, for you to sit here, I wouldn't have sit here that long if Jesus Christ was going to walk on water. So all praises to you, because I did want to speak to you today. The American nigger factory, it works. It works good. It is a perfect system because it turns out niggers every day. They know they can't physically beat us. They know that if we in our right mind, that our intellect so surpassed theirs, till they still wondering how the pyramids got there. How it sits on shifting sand, plotted by the celestial bodies, and ain't moved yet, but the London Bridge, it fall down. And the Leaning Tower pizza up there, wrong. You know, they celebrate that. They go and say, hey, look at what we did. We done made the Leaning Tower with a pizza. I said, that's interesting. Can I go in? No, you're making it fall down. Then what good is it? This is the best that we could do. Savage. What is revolution? This topic this felt good to me. What is revolution? Revolution is a process. It is not an event. I said, revolution is a process. It is not an event. So we've always been a state in the revolution. We've always been either winning or losing. We have always been moving forward or moving backwards ever since they snatched them first brothers and sisters off the beautiful shores of Africa. So we have to begin to think that we're always in the process of struggle with the enemy. Vicious struggle. As they tear things down, we build them up. As they tear them down, we build them up. But if we ever put together what you need, listen, you cannot produce revolutionaries without a revolutionary culture. You cannot produce revolutionaries without a revolutionary culture. You get a few deviants like us in the room, see? But the masses cannot become revolutionary without a revolutionary culture. They can only be of what culture they are. And since they're part of the American pop culture, we develop more Michael Jacksons every day than Malcolms. Huh? We deliver more Martins, more Latifahs, who went from Queen Latifah to Skeezer. Because she wanted to be paid. This script looked bad. You want to be paid? Yes. Okay. Ooh, that man looked good. Take off all your clothes. From queen to skeezer, because if you don't have the right situation, there's no reward for queens. There's no reward for kings if you're in the wrong situation. Do you know that revolution? I'm sure you know this. That those who uphold the culture, that those who live righteous get punished for it. because you're in the wrong culture. And those who are the saddest, the maddest, the craziest get paid. Don't you think the children see that? Therefore, you can only develop revolutionaries out of the kindness of their heart, or somebody who can't be turned around, and they're few and far between. Why should those who will suffer and die for the race lay in hunger, without electricity, without gas, in a putt-putt bomb trying to make it? When the enemies of the people get paid, not punished, get paid, not punished, get paid, not punished. So you develop reactionary little kids, reactionary grown-ups, reactionary preachers and ball players, reactionary educators. Revolution is a process, it is not an event. No revolutionary culture produces no revolutionaries. It's as simple as that. Revolutionary culture, what is it? It is a culture that always belonged to we. It represents we. It perpetuates we and our way. Therefore, outsiders cannot be in your revolutionary culture. Now, I know we've had this argument for years, we've had it. Especially from the black left. Where are they now that Russia done crumbled? Where are they now, those with the high, lofty, ideological discussion on dialectical materialisms and dictators of the proletariat and comrade this and comrade that and comrade this? We said, what about brothers and sisters? That's our language, that's how we speak. It's comrade. Who says it's comrade? I ain't German. The avaricious businessman is exploiting the worker class. He said, brother, you just want an excuse to deal with so-called progressive white people so you can get one of their women. You just want to set up a situation in the white man's mind where those few white people will let you integrate within them. A revolutionary culture has no room for nobody who is not African, because everything comes from African. Return to the source, Amilcar Cabral said. Return to your source and your way. But don't be afraid to contemporize it. Some of the old stuff won't wheel and deal like it used to. There's new modes of communications, new modes of warfare. It ought to be fun. I tell the youth when I talk to them, you should feel like an African pioneer, reconstructing African society, reconstructing culture. Everything is at your feet. All you need to know is the lessons of the past. From Imhotep to Marcus Mosiah Garvey. You know, as long as you know those things, and if you use us as the wisdom resource, I don't even tell them we should lead them, because I can't point to enough people who can hold them down, who don't have baggage. Everybody trying to organize them to exploit them, especially Farrakhan, man, to use the youth as cannon fodder so he can build $1 billion empire. We're not far enough along to say that if you operate outside of African culture, how could you lead we? How could you lead we? If you don't see the red, black, and green when you get up, how could you lead me? How could you be in the same foxhole with me? If you use alien cultures and alien religions, how could you be down with me? You don't even love we. People talking about your hair straight as your eyebrows. All kinds of nonsense. We got to return to the source. We cannot let outsiders into our culture. Asian, Euro, no one. Dr. Clark once said, with 1 billion Africans in the world, how come we're always looking for somebody else to love us? And the elder is correct. We know we cannot amalgamate a revolutionary culture with the enemy, even if they're renegades of their own people, because they're mere culture bandits who steal everything you do and claim it and enrich themselves. You think they're being close to you just like Paul Simon Get all closer. Yeah, going to church. Oh, I belong to a black church. I was born Jewish. I belong to a black church. Uh-huh. Oh. And instead of the people saying, sergeants, kick this cracker out of here, they say, well, welcome, Brother Paul. Next thing, he on television singing, like a bridge over troubled waters. Yeah, I wrote that last night. He stole it. Copyrighted it. In his name. Now, if I want to sing my ancestors' music, I got to pay this Jew. They're the enemy, don't you know? They're the enemy. Culture bandits, the white left. It worked. All through the Black Power era, it was working. It was working. The white left, moving and grooving. Hey, listen to me. Even ugly Jane Fonda, all up under the Black Panthers. You want some of this? You want some of this, Panther man? Come get some of this. They used to say that she was down with the Black Panthers, and they used to call her a traitor to the American race when she was only running a con game. They said, the white woman for you. Huey, you want some of this, Bobby? Who? I'm a big, fabulous movie star. You can see me naked on the screen. I'm yours, Panther man. And I got some sisters here for you, too. Look at this white girl here. Look at this white one. Next thing we know, they're in cocktail sips with crackers at their cocktail party with their hat in their hand, and they're the entertainment. What are we having today for entertainment? Well, I think a couple of Panthers is coming around. Oh, are they going to talk that black talk? Yeah, they're going to talk that. They're militant. Ha, ha, ha. And in the middle of the call, they said, pass me my cheese and my martini. The brother's about to get down. And he rails against the system. And how many black people have you known rail against capitalism but detach it from white people? It was amazing. We said all we have to do is bide our time because this is going to play out. It was amazing that they had found the right white people. That's one of the major things that's driven us back. There's been so much pain and suffering. Then, if you have developing a revolutionary culture, you're leaving out those who don't belong to the family. Next thing you know, we had mixed marriages. Brothers and sisters from the Afro-American department of this school. I have a white maid. We show that it can work. We're together now, and we have a baby. The baby sitting over the corner. I don't know what I am, who I am. You say, choose you, choose you. We got enough crazy ones that we drive beautiful babies ourselves. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, of what we produce for our children in the name of love. What is culture? What is revolutionary culture? Revolutionary culture produces a revolutionary youth. Now, listen to me. These young people want to rebel. They don't know how. They don't have the examples. And we're not there instigating, motivating, and lifting them up. Listen to their music. Broke my glass. This is not my day. Broke my glasses. I expect to get hit by lightning in the middle of the night. Revolutionary culture is more than singing and song, of sewing dolls, of wood carving. Culture is everything you do, how you do it, how often and why. Therefore, everything you do falls under the realm of culture. And if it's a revolutionary culture, there's no room for liberalism. There's no room for a white aesthetic in there. There's no room for anything but what we develop to liberate we. We must deliver revolutionary songs. I hear the children crying. Hip-hop music is a revolutionary music that hasn't reached its potential, and it won't, because we're not maintaining it. We're not grounding with our brothers and sisters to tell them where they need to take it. We step back and say, turn that noise down, when rhythm and blues hasn't produced anything. To have a revolutionary youth, you need a revolutionary music, a revolutionary song, and a revolutionary dance. Now, the revolutionary dance used to be done by the high trees with Bob Marley when they did the easy skanking. When they had on their regal gowns representing African womanhood on the highest level. All they had to do was kill Bob Marley, give him instant cancer, adds water and star. All they had to do was blow off the back of Peter Tosh's head and give you Patra and Shabba Ranks. Next thing you know, instead of easy skanking proud to the melody, we got black girls grinding against the ground, all up against the wall, like animals with their butt out, being a caricature for white supremacy. Because they know what revolutionary culture is. They move in there, and how they do it, they buy it. If you do these dances and sing these songs, you get paid. If you do those dances and those songs, not only will you might be not paid, you might be killed. The revolutionary youth, and I hear this on every campus I go to, they want to know what is going to be our new economic system. You need a revolutionary economic system that you need to be building now. What is the lessons of the past? Where did we come from? How did we wheel and deal before? Without that, they don't know what to do. I'm telling you, on the campuses, those are becoming African Center. No, they're not going corporate America. But what do I do? How do I do it with we? Elders, show me. We don't have a revolutionary military to protect our seeds. We don't have nobody to strike back when we struck down. Then we're not revolutionary yet. Hopefully we're coming. Malcolm was funny. He could be so exact. He said if you knew what revolution meant, you jump back in the alley. You wouldn't use that word. And you got people like KRS-One say revolution is basketball and basketball is the truth. It's a sad commentary, but I don't blame him. He hasn't been taught because we haven't set up enough institutions to teach him. A revolutionary not only need a revolutionary military, they need a people's militia. That means all of us should be training. All of us should know how to fire guns, how to survive. Huh? We should be getting our provisions ready in the basement. Because we know they're coming. They gotta come. Revolutionary cultures have a revolutionary women's organization to represent for the women. I have never seen a revolutionary country that didn't have a national women's organization to make sure that everything is done egalitarian, that the sins of the past are not passed on. Every revolutionary culture and government that I have ever seen had a national youth organization to make sure their needs are represented, and the advocates for that make sure that the revolution serves everyone. The revolution usually have the wise elders sitting there, not in a controlling factor, but to give advice. All of these things have yet to be produced. That is the result of the death. Not that the enemy is killing you. He always wanted to kill you. He always killed you. We haven't produced what we need to defend this race. Yet we say we're proud to be African, huh? So it's not so much what the enemy do. Because really, if they could put us all together right now, they'd kill us all. Really? And the liberals would say, oh, that's a shame, huh? Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay, on with the next business in our meeting. Robert's Rules of Order. Roberts ain't gonna rule no more once we put together a revolutionary culture. So as you see, it's culture, it deals with food, clothing, shelter, health, education, police in the hood, and the military to deal with outsiders. If this haven't been built, then we haven't used our culture properly. We create culture like this, out of their waste material. We create culture. We can take some dirty oil drums and jam, jam, jam. We can take some broken turntables and all night long. But we don't know yet that culture is to liberate you. One of the reasons Sekou Touré would not let tourism come to Guinea, because he said it stagnates the people's revolutionary culture. So instead of building a culture for society, you're making little dolls and things to appeal to these Canadians and Euro this and Euro that and Americans. Little dolls and trinkets and bartering. As they walk through your world, celebrating that all you got is a little sunshine because we took all your precious materials, all your resources. We came and plotted and put our hotels at your beaches. Think of it now. Let's think of our situation for what it really is. Shit. They take all, in Jamaica, they're taking all the beaches, putting their decadent hotels. And then so their little woman could come into town and rent themselves a Rasta. And all over the island, you see a little white girl holding on to a black Rasta, riding up in the hand, get some of that ganja and get some of that. But when you don't take control of your culture, you allow for that. Revolutionary culture fosters, think now, all right, let's think. We done set up a revolutionary culture in here. Anything that's anti-African is out. Anything that is exploitative is out. Anything that's egotistical is out. And we begin to function and the children are working within that domain. You'd have a different child. They would have never seen none of these clown shows. Never in a revolutionary situation. We talk about arguing and rumbling. I never rumbled with my kids. Now, when they leave home, but as good as I thought I was as a parent, a few years outside of my control, they become reactionary. Why? They go back to celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving. And why? Why? I'm supposed to be bad. I'm a war correspondent. I'm going to have a child like this. Unacceptable. It's because individuals cannot develop the youth by itself. You must have the institution in full effect. The educational institutions, the economic institution, the military institutions. You should surround them in a cocoon of revolutionary love and say that anybody who come near these children will be taken out. One good household won't do. I've seen people raise their children to be religious, to be Muslim, to be Christian, to be a Yoruba or whatever, and as soon as they get old enough to reject all that and say no, they're gone. Because the institutions that support the struggle has to be put in place. And that has to be done collectively. That has to be done by we. That can't be done by me. It has to be done by we. I've seen the advantages. In Philadelphia, we have a place, a school called the Academy of the Way. I remember walking past a new student one day. I was like, hey, sister, how you doing? First of all, I ain't your sister. Second of all, this ain't no school. This is a house. There ain't no classrooms. Them bedrooms. By the time she graduated, she was a cold-blooded revolutionary child. In the top of her class, intellectually, emotionally in love with her people. Because this is what your institution do. We didn't have her from cradle on up. We picked her up after the street had thrown her around a little bit. I know what we can do. How come if we have so much unemployment, we stand on the corner waiting for white people to come and organize our labor? How come? You know something? If the unemployed was revolutionized, they'd find jobs for all y'all. Because they say, when they got downtime, they get hardcore. Let's keep them working with us. That kind of culture will bring forth a new individual. That revolutionary culture will bring forth a child with loyalty, ready to sacrifice, because that's all they know. But they know more white stuff than they know African stuff. They have loyalty. Even hip-hop music, as much as I love it, and its potential as a revolutionary music, right now I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it fits snugly in the bosom of American pop culture. That's why they wear the baseball hats, the Timberlands, the hockey shirts. It's a tug of war of cultures. The white man ain't gonna let you just develop revolutionary culture without tugging and pulling and paying them off. Starting the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. Have them getting the gat on each other. But never shot not one hip-hop artist, not one, ever shot one white recording executive. Not one. These dirty, filthy Jews and their other cracker dogs, not one has ever been shot. I tell them, don't tell me nothing about. Don't tell me nothing about East Coast, West Coast. Sucker MC and the sucker MC. That's talking about your brother. Just represent what you represent. But they can't do it alone. They're young. And they're betrayed. Badly. In a sea of cowardness. We hide. Even those who say we're as bad as we want to be. The children at the Academy Away, another thing I learned is that love for their people. Even though we got the 8th grade and the preschoolers in the same school, if you have a white mentality, say, why they always got to be with me? Why my brother got to go with me? I'm tired of watching them. In an African setting, they know it's their job to nurture, to look out for, and they're proud of that job. I've watched them. I always learn, you know something, you don't learn nothing about revolution in a book. Revolution comes from practice. When you're in the street or whatever, by practicing, you can find out what don't work and what does work. When you practice it and see the response of the people, then you know what to throw away and what to retain. Revolutionary culture does something else too. We're at that state where we've developed a revolutionary culture. That everything has to come through our committees, our collective leadership, to be sanctioned as an activity, an idea, a notion, a piece of art that fits in the realm of the revolutionary culture. Revolutionary culture, by its mere existence, exposes reactionaryism, exposes things like Roy Ennis of CORE, organizing and recruiting African Vietnam vets to fight with UNITA and the South African Army against the interests of the MPLA, against the interests of SWAPO, against the interests of the people of Azania. Nobody came down on him. Drive a better car than you. Live, but did you know that the struggle in Azania didn't begin to come to its peak until they start putting that necklace around traders' necks? But before you do that, you can't be a bunch of wild renegades. We need to become organized. Revolutionary culture exposes reactionary thought and action. It exposes people who are charlatans. I thought we knew what revolution was until I seen people tromping off to Washington. I really did. I really did. I said, man, this Black Books Revolution is organizing people and we're coming together. Man, I overestimated it. We're tied up in emotional bullshit. We hugging and kissing and then coming back on trades like we just beat somebody's ass. Like we had won a war. And all we did is pray. Go to Washington, come back and hug each other. We knew we loved each other before we left. It also showed me we don't know who the enemy is. Nobody jumped on the enemy. And the people who were talking from the podium were reactionary. Duran Karingas. Hey, how does Maya Angelou, when I say reactionary are pushed out of a revolutionary situation just by the mere existence of a revolutionary situation, how can she be your poet and Clinton's poet too? How can she speak to black men from a podium, 1.5 million of them, and be married to white men? What the hell could she tell me? Except that if I get a chance, I need to kick her in the butt. It's a con game. Everything in America is done by mirrors. It's a con game. We're being hustled at all times. I come through the era of black power pimps. You mean we don't know what black power pimps are yet? They produce nothing but confusion. They stir everything up and produce nothing but control. They are people brokers. They broker our pain into profit for themselves and themselves only. And we, the people darker than blue, still go for that. That's why we're being torn asunder all over the globe. That's why there's slavery in the Sudan, in Mauritania, in Iran. I walk, I crawl, wherever them damn Arabs are. In a revolutionary situation, opportunism is crushed. Backward elements is crushed. Exploitation is eliminated and destroyed. And those who bring those ideas, who would dare take we back for profit, are ostracized. Kwame Nkrumah used to say, forward ever, backward never. We are an emotional people. That's why we fill our churches and our temples. But even that's a joke. When I wrote Black Holocaust and people claiming there was no Holocaust, 10 years ago when I wrote that the CIA was putting drugs all over our community, no one believed me because I'm a black man. But when Dan Rather say it, when CNN say it, when Ted Koppel said it's news, well, it's 10 years too late. Look at the people who died. Hundreds of thousands. Look at how many grandmothers had their throat cut. Look how many babies been thrown up against the wall because of their deadly crack. But you kill the messenger and say, you're going to get us all in trouble. We want to get along. The examples of a revolutionary culture. As we fought the deadly Arabs, and they began to expand into North Africa, pushing us back, we stopped and developed the Mossi states. And in the Mossi states, this is in Chancellor Williams' book, Destruction of African Civilization. And as we fought the Mossi states, we stayed free for years. But when we got soft on the perpetuation of our culture, and the youth said, that old adage, that old saying that don't let whites or other people in, is something you old people say. This is a new world. We're going to let them in. The Mossi states were destroyed. And the people pulled back and they died. And they pulled back and they died. And they pulled back and they died till the Arabs control North Africa. Well, the Arabs say now, we're going to come through the Sudan. We're going to take over Uganda. We're going to take over Tanzania. We're going to take care of Kenya. The Arabs say we sit on shifting sand. And oil is playing out. They're going to solar power, electric power, wind power, water power. We have nowhere to live. We have to go do what everybody else does. Pillage Africa. Destroy black civilization. And live where they used to live. How do you think those Arabs got where they are? At the same time, they got slaves in 1997. Our people now, not nobody else. We, the people darker than blue, allow slaves. As soon as somebody unfolds the story, 3/4 of the race and some of the academicians that know better, so oh, there ain't no slavery in the Sudan. There ain't no slavery in Mauritania. But you're the one who taught me about slavery in the Sudan. That's a damn shame. I'm your student. The African Revolution. You must have an African culture. For example, number 2. the gallant struggles of the people of Haiti to kick Napoleon's butt, set his drawers on fire, and have him run out the country yapping and screaming. Running through America, say, look, I want to sell Louisiana, all that region. Give me what you got in your pocket. I'm getting out of them. Get away from these niggas. He get all the way to Egypt and say, the Sphinx. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. But because we didn't have an African revolutionary culture, they called Toussaint Louverture. Napoleon say, Toussaint, I'm mad with you. We had to fight you, Toussaint. No, you didn't have, you kill all the people. Toussaint, be a nice Frenchman and come and meet with me in France. And the nigga went to France. Now wait a minute. Dead bodies all around you. Rape women was your history. Working you to death, castration, lynching. What is it in the African mind? We got to deal with this. What is it in the African mind? We got to deal with this. What is it in the African mind that makes us need the love of them hunkies? Till we can beat them on the battlefield and still think, I'll be a Frenchman. We look at history to find things to uplift us. We look at history to see how bad we were. We better look at history to see where we failed, where we were too soft. Man say, I'm a Frenchman. They say, Toussaint, you better not go. You know Napoleon said he's going to kill everything black. No, he has fraternity with me. You know, did you ever heard of French Revolution? Well, now we be French people. We beat them and we could be French. I didn't make that up. That's history. Don't get mad at me. The interpretation. Excuse me. The interpretation of history is important. What we need is the truth. Sure, he was a great fighting man. Sure, there was good generals around him. But on the psychological tip, what is it about white people that can mutter a few words? It's because he came through the French nigger factory. Because the French was the highest of that. He didn't want to be a free African. He wanted to be a free Frenchman. The children of the Massey states said, they might have something we need. The elders said, we gave you everything you need, freedom, self-determination, liberation. No, that's the old way. There's only one way, brothers and sisters, that's the African way, the African revolutionary way. And we have to define collectively amongst ourselves what that is. That is nothing I can tell you. That's something I can sit down and reason with you and with Africans all over the globe to find out what is the African way? What does the African need? How are we going to obtain it? What is the state of our youth? What is the state of them in 1996? They're the major targets of genocide. Tupac is a classic example. But since we get our information from the enemy, we don't know the whole story. We don't know he was a Shakur. And whether he was revolutionary or not, thank you, brother. Whether he was revolutionary or not, and he was not, they knew what he could evolve into. He had to be destroyed. Because a good son avenges his family, his father, his mother. A good child, good little sister, avenges the family, the mother, the father. Good youth avenges the people. The state of our youth, and they know it. Coolio sings, when you going to help me? I guess you can't. I guess you won't. I guess you front. I guess my life is out of luck, fool. Is that not a call for you? Did he not say we saying prayers in the street light? Do you think children actually know how to get out of this dope jam that they're in? They were born in it. They were born in a dope culture, not an African culture. They functioned very well in it. The only thing is that the better they function, the better the genocide against their own people. But they were born in it. They didn't create none of this. None of the culture, none of the violence. A drive-by shooting didn't come from a brother in Africa riding by on an elephant, throwing a spear at another brother. It's the act of a coward. The same kind of coward that when they went to war put on all this steel and walked around. Allah, salam salat. Shaka Zulu say, give us a small shield and a small panga, and I'll collect the world. Because he knew the African reflexes. But they said, we're going to put on as much armament as we can. And all you do is push him open and watch him like a roach that can't get off his back. Oh, all right. Our youth know their genocide's target. They sing about it all the time. Do you know that the only revolutionary thought in African music at this point in time, the African music that is presented, because there's always revolutionary African forces putting together African music that we will never hear, because we let the white man pick what music we will hear. We don't even set up another system of trying to determine which artists should be supported and which ones should be rejected. Hip-hop is the only music that done that. The only. Luther Vandross, he don't do it. Michael Frankenstein Jackson, he don't do it. Now what is hip-hop? Hip-hop, there are new griots. Listen to me, they're only storytellers. They're mere storytellers. We sit down and let white people tell us stories all day. Around Halloween, they tell monster stories. They're always telling sex stories. They're always telling war stories. They're always telling drug stories. They're always telling fantasy. But when we tell a story, all of a sudden we are the story. They attack gangster rap instead of listening to it. Because if you listen to it, you can determine what the children need. What is missing in their ideological diet? What's missing in their information diet, and you supply that. Just like telling your child never to speak to them, lest the old heads used to say, don't speak unless you're spoken to. Boy, I used to always get smacked because I never knew how to shut up. Because they don't like what you say. You say it raw. So when we tell story of the hood, they live in hell. So how good could the story be? They're surrounded by drugs. They better know how to shoot. They better know how to hold their hands. The American nigger factory supplies them the view of womanhood. It supplies them the view of the macho man and the soap opera queen, and they play it out in their everyday behavior because it's part of pop culture. But when Fuji demonstrate to you what culture really is, when the Fugees show you that the youth know that in Britain, in France, and in the United States, they don't allow no more black immigrants. So they represent for the immigrants, especially the Haitians, who caught hell. We went to the Chrome Detention Center where they were holding the Haitians, remember, Deke? And tried to get in the door. I said, I'm Dale Jones from Philadelphia. Here's my credentials as a member of the press. I want to go in there and see what's going on. I said, I said, Deke, what is this guy? He's talking Spanish. They said, they're guarded by Cubans who don't even speak English. Ha! By the same old folks. You know what I'm saying? So we see them in the Chrome Detention, getting so depressed they used to run out in the swamp. And the KKK had a firing range, and they used to go hunting them down, killing them. Since they got on a boat, and nobody knows they're alive, nobody knows their name, they're easy to kill. They have John Doe killings where squads of police just kill the homeless because nobody wants them. Nobody's looking for them. They're easy to kill. Many times the body's not even claimed. Crack was devised. It is a demonic weapon. It was devised to destroy the black family and the youth. Crack was devised and rained down us by the enemy. That's an act of war. Anytime one people kill another, that's an act of war. How come we don't take it like that? We let people like Maxine Waters say, I call for an investigation of the CIA to check itself out. Check itself out. Malcolm say, you take your criminal to court. But since we, the people dark and the blue, has not developed ourselves as the authority in our hoods, they play that game with us. We'll get a special prosecutor, okay? It's like having the clerk walking with Mandela, hand in hand, and he responsible for the slaughters of our children in Soweto. How can the state of the youth be any good as long as the family infrastructure is broken down, dysfunction everywhere? We don't have a common understanding of what family is anymore. We don't have a common understanding of what it's supposed to do. Its joys, its sorrows, its pain. Because we're in American pop culture and refuse to let go. We refuse to let go. Tell you what, if they told black people that you will be a full citizen of the United Snakes of America, if you kill all the militant, radical, cultural elements, they get to killing us so fast. They don't want to fight these people. They don't. They love them. So what will I do without football? What will I do without their lifestyle? This is all they know. Therefore, if we're going to develop a revolutionary African culture, we must start practicing amongst ourselves to show the advantages of collectivism. If we do that and we find out that, and they're looking at you all the time, do you think they need me to tell them somebody got foot and ass? Do you really? You think they don't? They're the very people who are suffering. But we haven't demonstrated that we can govern. And that's why when they do not let a government emerge in Liberia, in Nigeria, in Somalia, Rwanda, it says to the people subliminally and overtly that we can't govern ourselves, that our madness is wilder than the white man's madness because they don't see the invisible chains and strings pulling the people down. No political institutions. The few that we have, we're underdeveloped. How could we perpetuate anything? And I watch brothers and sisters like us get frustrated and then begin to talk about the people. Then begin to lose their love of the people. Then to begin to fight within their own structures, small as they are. If we understand the process, it would be clear. That's why we're going through this. If we understand the process, we understand that this creates madness in the best elements of us. We're in a mad situation. We're being loyal to your race, ready to die for your race. The race saying, I ain't asked you to die for me. I didn't ask you to be black. I didn't ask you to lose your job and stand up, wear dreadlocks in the office. Shouldn't be wearing them damn dreadlocks anyway. I didn't wear you to ask to wear African garb everywhere you go. I didn't ask you to represent, because I'm America fiddler. If you don't think they American, check out at the Olympic time. You never seen so much red, white, and blue in the hood. Stars and stripes on their butt. The state of the race of our youth is economic despair everywhere. No jobs, and the conscious youth that I talk to going from campus to campus all over this country is they don't know where they fit. And if we don't tell them, they're going to fit right back in corporate America, who are rejecting because of the information is so overwhelming that these demons of the night are stealing our space and time. They know their health care is no good. They know they're militarily unprotected. So everywhere I go, I see youth beginning to train themselves. And that's the repeat of the 60s. I mean, how does a novice teach themselves how to be a soldier? Seriously speaking. I don't care. Good intentions don't make revolution. Good intentions don't make revolution. I can't teach me to be a soldier. I need a soldier. You know? We need to set that up. When I find out all going through the South, they ain't playing. Everybody think the North is it, and they're going back to the land without any announcement. Because, you know, whatever we do, we're going back to the land. We're going to buy up all this land. It's testing. Is this mic on? Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. White America, one. I be's the leader, and we going back to the land. Because you crackers and fat mouth, fat mouth, fat mouth. But down south, they're easing off into the land. You can only train if you got land. And that's where the training is done. They look to us and don't know they are far beyond the North. I was in Louisiana, and they put 10 bodyguards around me. I said, I don't need all these bodyguards. They said, brother, you in Louisiana. You talk stuff down here. You know what I'm saying? In New York, you say, yeah, white man, white man, white man. Let me get on the subway. Nah. He gonna come for you with shotguns in the back of his truck unless he know that your pickup got his shotguns in it. So we need to give respect all over the board. None of us are free, so we're all on the same level. The worst thing that's happened to our youth, we've allowed them to be detached from the family. Once you detach them from the family, they're easily destroyed. That's why million is locked down. And they give them time forever. You know what the sentence today is? You did that, boy? How much time, Judge? From now on. From now on. Big time. Why? Because they're setting up the privatization of the prisons. And in them prisons, that's going to be owned by American Express, Disney, and all the rest of them. The same ones we going, I'm going to Disney World. Same one, you making them fatter and fatter. It's amazing. We have pieces of information. In a revolutionary context and ideology, we must now put it together. A lot of people are reading about New World Orders and know the New World Order, but don't know the cultural development and the struggles of African people from the Berlin Conference of 1884 and 85 to 1996. In that is so many lessons, the lessons of Garvey and Malcolm, the lessons of the scramble for Africa, the whole thing. The development of the United Nations into the New World Order tool it is today. How the organization of African unity was not what was supposed to be designed, but the United States of Africa, as pushed forth by Kwame Nkrumah. But it was Haile Selassie and them who wanted to make it soft and full of nothingness, till it has never saved one African organization of African unity, haven't saved one African country. It may have helped keep Lumumba from coming to power. So all these structures aren't working, let's throw them out. Again, criticism with affection. We are reading so much till we're not understanding Africa. And since we don't understand Africa, they're taking it. Most of the youth, almost all of the youth, don't know its relationship to Africa. Don't know what slavery really was. And I heard the brother say today, I was doing the hip-hop conference in Harlem, and they were trying to tell me that nigger is affectionate term. You know? So if we don't know Africa, we have a bookstore and whatnot, and there's some books I would like to put out as a publisher to deal with Africa, but nobody has the African appetite. They're fronting. And in the history of Africa and colonization along with the transatlantic slave trade, along with the struggles in Brazil and so-called Latin America, along with those in Tasmania and different places. We need the whole story to become the architects of a new reality. So once the children are detached, and even if they're attached, they're not getting the nourishment they need. Our children are culturally deprived, so they invent culture. They say, well, Timberland boots is the thing now. Why Timberland boots? They're the most expensive boots. Oh. If you listen to rap songs, they always talk about flexing in my Lexus. Why? Because it's the most expensive car. And you hear them talk their fantasy. See, if you want to know somebody, know what they write. Know what they sing and know what they track. You can put your pulse on the youth. When they're talking about, flexing and partying all the time, and high all the time, blunted, 40 and all up. When you hear that, a whole culture has evolved around hip-hop that will destroy it. And in it, you find people like the Fugees, the Cool, J. Rue, Goody Mob, Public Enemy, Conscious Daughters. And it's not a few of them who are struggling in this tug of war to make the culture relevant. There's going to be culture. Now, is it going to be a revolutionary culture, which takes a lot of work and sacrifice, or is it just going to be American pop culture? We are too arrogant to hear them. This saddens me. And you know what amazed me? Is they use the music from our generation. All of it. James Brown, Sly and the Family Phone, Curtis Mayfield, all of that. I thought, oh, this is going to be a natural marriage. But they took James Brown. Good God, get it, get it. Good God, get it. Get it. Soul Man. And said, fight the power. I thought there was an upgrade myself. I thought we was going to conjugate them. But we rather hear the sexual noise. Good God, get it. Fight the power. Shut up. Because you become my conscience. I'm ashamed. Some of it is that we are ashamed. We don't want to hear nothing from them. Well, Daddy, how did we get like that? I don't know. Instead of owning up. We better listen to our storytellers. Now is the time. Now is the time that Garvey had always talked about. Garvey said, black man won't know himself till his back is up against the wall. I say, can't you feel the coldness of those bricks? Can't you feel it? It's now or never. Garvey said this day would come. He said, look for me in the whirlwind. But we didn't know we have to produce the whirlwind. In the 60s, we almost had it. It took an extraordinary, let me defend the previous generation. It took a tremendous effort of the United States government's intelligence community to bring down the movement. And I tell every young boy, say, well, y'all nothing. Don't say nothing. I know more dead people who died for you than you dream of. I know people in jail all over this world from Grenada to South Africa. It took an extraordinary barbarism of the enemy to take us down. All right, then what did we learn? We learned they're going to come with everything. So we said, come on with it. They better come with everything. We was bad. Young boy was on my face the other day in Louisiana. Y'all just didn't do nothing. I think we're doing quite a bit. I said, you ever burn a city, boy? Huh? We burned 57 cities. Have you ever gone toe-to-toe with the police force? Did they ever have to call the whole army on you? Oh, no. Do you know the story of Mark Essex in New Orleans? You know he fought the whole police department? And from the 28th floor of the Howard Johnson, he took the head off of the chief of police? Do you don't know? You're from New Orleans, boy. Don't you ever tell me my generation ain't did nothing. The dead is all over. The arrests are locked down. Shakur, stepfather, was framed by Hoover and is in jail for the Brinks job for 60 years. That's why he wasn't there to say, Tupac, come here. I said, come here. What you doing out there, boy? You don't be doing, because that's what fathers do. Not only that, his real father was killed by the pigs. Asada had to flee the country. But we pretend we don't know. We pretend we don't know that boy was in the womb of his mother, locked down for the Panther 21. We don't pretend we don't know that Afemi Shakur was struggling for her people. That she ran to Baltimore to get out of the way of the FBI, who would tell her neighbors and her boss, she's a Panther revolutionary, get rid of her or you're in trouble. IRS is going to be on you. And then she ran to South Central and got to South Central about the same time they dropped the drugs in South Central. With no back, the Panther Party's destroyed. She turns to crack. He's out in the street selling it. It's the American nigger factory. And even the revolutionary family get eat up. So if you hear Tupac doing sensitive stories about a sister having a baby, or lift your head up, and then the next day talking about bees and hoes, schizoid, you say? Yes, he's good and schizoid. We all are. To be in America, you have to be schizoid. But no father, two fathers destroyed. Asada away. Nobody to reign the children, and they don't raise themselves. 1 minute he's sensitive, 1 minute he on the dance floor doing things, he don't know how he did that. He's full of self-hatred and pain, but sensitivity to the race, but don't know how to compute that into action. He's in the drug sales. He's in the showing false imagery. At the same time, he's giving a lot of money to the hood. That's schizoid. But not because he was born schizoid or a no good person. It started a long time ago when Hoover took down Garvey. It's all interrelated. Right now, they're dismantling the welfare state. They're dismantling affirmative action. They're privatizing the prisons. They're using biological chemical warfare on the people. They're developing a total police state, and we run around in confusion. Africa is torn asunder, got us controlled in the Caribbean. Latin America, we're on the last rung of the ladder. It's time to see how great this race really is. It's time for us to rally. How do we develop a revolutionary culture? This is where I want to end. We should always end on how. I don't have all the answers to this. It's in the collective intellect of the people. But let me get the ball rolling. Revolutionary culture is consciously designed, consciously thought out. So now we know it has to be more than us representing for the race. We have to get with other people and build our little schools up. Do you know in the revolutionary wars for the decolonization and liberation of the African continent, both ZANU, Frelimo in Mozambique, MPLA in Angola, SWAPO in Namibia, the PAGIC in Guinea-Bissau, do you know their school system didn't stop? It accelerated. And the only thing they needed to have a school is back from the front lines and underneath the shade of a tree. And you tell me we can't build schools? I don't accept it. I'll never accept that. You mean we can't feed hungry when a sack of beans, which is protein, and a sack of rice feed a whole lot of people? Where are the soup kitchens of Father Divine, Daddy Grace? You know? Why can't we come up with revolutionary? Because we won't. We don't love each other enough to do that kind of shit. We don't. Love is a behavior. Since love is a behavior, it manifests in your deeds. The greatest pimp in the world can say, I love you, baby. Now go turn that trick for me, baby. Yeah. Hoe better have my money. Love is a behavior. We must put Africa in the center of these children's lives. Even the positive hip-hop artist has America in the center of their life. That's why when the first time I seen Snoop Doggy Dogg, now how scared can you be of a gangster named after Snoopy the dog, huh? How much gangster could that really be? Snoop Doggy Dogg. Kid and play. You say, go play and I ain't kidding. You know what I'm saying? We must put Africa at the center. That's the only way we can put African culture in the center. And anything that's outside of that, we move out. We must also be able, revolutionary culture defines the social phenomenon from a Pan-African perspective. In other words, when we say something to them or we answer a question, we take it all the way back to Africa. And that's easily done if you know what has been going on in the history of Africa. Take it on back. They took us from Africa and took Africa from the remaining Africans. We have to teach that the only difference between us as an African people is a slave manifest that says drop 10 in Trinidad, drop 10 here, 10 there, drop 10 in North Carolina, drop 10 in Virginia. Same people. The commonality of culture, culture is binding. It keeps us together, it pulls us together. Culture is what makes it. But from a Pan-African perspective, if you don't take it all the way home, it leaves room for someone else to get in there and define your stuff. You know, we must build the institution. We know that. As modest as they can be. Let the pioneers start them modestly, and the next wave take it to another level. Let the people, when they see us talking that black talk, walking that black walk, because they're always watching you. So yes. Look at Dell saying don't do drugs. Look at Dell over there. If they ever see that, you're done. Because like children, they do as you do, not as you say. We must build our own media to send out our own ideas, our own images. It's easy to do. We won't do it. You know, another problem we have is that we are so capitalistic till we want to start all these proprietorships. We want to be the single owner of a business. The days in America of the single business person is gone. You need collective ownership. And if you are involved with 3 or 4 different projects, you'll make a living. But if we wait till we can stockpile enough money to go into our business undercapitalized and say, why don't people patronize us? What happened to cooperatives? How come we can't go down to the shipyards and do food co-op buying? Why do we all go to these supermarkets with their accelerated process where they take the green meat and paint it red? Or after it didn't sell in the white hood, they move it down to your hood, spray some red dye on it. We're not looking after every aspect because we know that if people don't care and used to lynch you and still lynch you on the street, they don't care whether you eat, they don't care what you ingest. More importantly, we need an ideology. That ideology is Pan-Africanism. It needs to be refined. It must have the brilliance and the thought of those of our ancients right up to our contemporaries. Then after taking all that and throwing away the fat and having a clear program for how an African governed their lives, you're then putting together culture. What is a Pan-African worldview? Or what I used to say, I look at everything as to what does the shit mean to me? OJ, what does the shit mean to me? Olympics, what does this shit mean to me? You know what I mean? Mark Furman, what does this shit mean to me? CIA and South Central, what does this shit mean to me? And you become, Pan-Africanism is your software. And this is your brain computer. And as you put information in it, if you don't have no way to synthesize it, you'll synthesize it like everybody else does, through a white supremacist mentality, a white supremacist attitude, a white supremacist moral code. What does this shit mean to me? Ideologies, the ideological debate we had is over. it was necessary. The chocolate Marxists, see ya. We love you. Come on home. We said Russia ain't never going to fight America. I wrote a song in 1970. Said, we must cut off your power for the bills you refuse to pay. We must liquidate your assets and you shall be moved away. Court is closed. Employment payments are too late today. Maybe 5 years ago we might have went that way. Court is closed. We must cut off your power for the bills you refuse to pay. Consolidation with Russia Corporation won't help you get away. That was 20 years ago. 20 years almost to the day. Russia, it crumbles. And say, we was only kidding. We're actually white people. And we want to be part of this new world order. We know it. We also knew that communism was the study of African communalism, an attempt to adapt it to industrial Germany and Russia. We know if you're going to study your old ways, return to the source. These emulators and imitators can't take it. No, they never lived. White people never shared with nobody in themselves. Not even with themselves. White people don't know how to share. They know how to hoard. They come from caves. We come from the Horn of Plenty where you can pick what you need. When they were in that cave, they ate the weakest. They said, we can't go outside. It's frozen. And damn, Grandma is looking good. Tastes just like chicken. All the cannibal we supposed to be, every incidence of cannibalism had been them. Jeffrey Dahmer could eat black people in the middle of the hood. Nobody said nothing. That man up in Russia ate over 100 and something people. He like frozen food. Every incident. We must make our people proactive. If I knew what I knew today, when we were in the streets in the 60s, our strategies and tactics would have been more deadlier. But we had no elders. The most hurtful thing a person has ever said to me, and some people have really gotten this shit off on me, you know. Especially when, you know, a woman when you break it up. You ain't nothing anyway. Ain't never been nothing, can't do nothing. Damn. But the worst thing ever said to me is I said, we're black and we're proud, ain't we, Pops? He said, you're black and you can't help it. Y'all need to sit down, stop burning these cities. I said, that's what you think of me? That's what you think of our struggle? Is that what? Yes, that's what I think of you. So those of us who survived that epoch into these epoch must know the youth need to be told something coherent, usable, workable, and they must be involved with the process of development. We always want to take children and make them do what we say, when we don't know all the answers. We need to become the council of elders to a proactive youth that's ready to fight. See, our young people ain't no punks. They just don't know who to kill. They don't know what is noble. And as long as they think being a drug lord is noble, then your warriors are inverted. Finally, we must get control of our traders. I say it's time for us to begin to put ourselves together and start beginning to have conferences about our ideological development, and then take it to the point of setting up a provisional government of the Africans trapped in America, thereby passing laws that must be adhered to and being able to call war. The process will not be pure. There's going to be a lot of trial and error because there's a lot of confusion, and confusion is the enemy of revolution. But some confusion has to be worked out. It can't be just debated out. I wrote 4 books. To me, books are organic. They're living tissue. They have a life and a reason to exist. When I went to college, I went in thinking about culture bandits, how they steal our musical culture and just run rampant with it and claim it, profit from it, rearrange it, bastardize it, and isolate those who do the most progressive work and pay off those who are the most foolish. So I wrote Culture Bandits 1. Culture Bandits 2, which I consider my best book, The Annihilation of African Images, didn't sell that good. And I was perplexed. I said, I'll never write better than that. And I was breaking down radio, television, talk shows. If you see what I wrote about talk shows, you could see I already predicted that Jenny Jones and Rivaldo and all them fools would be coming. And I couldn't understand it, so I started taking a poll of why black people avoided Culture Bandits too. And I kept hearing over and over, all you talking about is black people. You say what? Black people, you talking about black people. I don't want to read about you talking about no black people. I said, well, Jim Brown wrote in his book, Out of Bounds, that he loved to go to Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. And when he walked in, he loved to hear the classical music. That he loved to have lobster and steak whenever he wanted and partake of the finest white women. I didn't write that. He wrote that. When I pointed out to you, because I knew you weren't going to read all these books, that Sammy Davis Jr. was a devil worshiper and was supposed to be at the party when the Manson people came and slaughtered in the Tate Bianca killings. And he said, I only like that because I had access to orgies and white women. He wrote that in his book, Why Me? And all these different books that I came through about Iman and Spencer Haywood, books like people like Dennis Rodman can write, Unashamed. And the people say, I don't want to read that. You mean you don't want truth? You want to read about Imhotep? Yeah, we be bad. And we had more than one and still got more. But you don't want to go over there and do the hard research. You want to read about Nzinga, Harriet Tubman, Hatshepsut. I read about them too. Love it, upliftment. But I want to read about Maya Angelou, Pearl Bailey, and other Uncle Toms and Uncle Thomasinas. We're getting into this thing wrong. We're not doing objective study. So then I wrote the book Black Holocaust, which really came before Culture Bandits too, because everywhere I went, people were saying, they can't kill us all. Now y'all crazy. People call me up on the phone in Chicago. Yeah, you're the brother who wrote that Black Holocaust stuff. I said, yeah, they can't kill us all, nor do they want to. We're God's children. Yeah, all right. Spelled backwards is dog. You know what I'm saying? Your gods and their gods ain't the same gods. You know. Black Holocaust, so beyond my imagination. I made it a little book. I didn't get cute. I just came with it raw. Because I got that from Kwame Nkrumah. 2 books the revolutionaries always had on them. The Handbook of Revolutionary Warfare, which we all must read, and Class Struggle in Africa. If you don't read Class Struggle in Africa, you won't understand Africa. That was a product of the colonial mentality and how we can kill each other. Hell, don't tell me about Class Struggle in Africa. Wilson Good dropped a bomb in my neighborhood. He burned up his own children. Once you read and understand class struggle in Africa, not from a Marx and Leninist position, you'll understand how some of us betray we so easily. Black Holocaust took off. It's still the biggest seller I probably will ever have. Then the last book, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers, is a continuation of the Black Holocaust. It amazed me that we would actually trust the demons of death to put things in our bloodstream. Norplant, Prozac, Fridolin. The new thing is nicotine patches, flu shots, immunization. They killing us softly, but not with their song. So these were organic. My next book will be called The Black Warrior. And it will document our strategies and tactics and our heroes and sheroes since the ancient days and take it right on up to 1996. Because the young brothers always looking for when we fought somebody and won. We won in Angola. We won in Mozambique. We won in Guinea-Bissau. We won in Zimbabwe. How do we win wars and don't celebrate? Till our children actually think we never fought these people. We ain't only fight them, we whipped their ass. 1975, Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, 3 countries in 1 year. Portugal collapsed. How come we're not teaching them that? So we end by saying, I'm glad you stayed. We give our humble apologies for being Wrong Way Jones and getting lost in Jersey and going way up the wrong way through West. We got on the other side of West Orange. And we came up with a sign that said the oranges. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Say, next stop, the oranges. Heard of East Orange, South Orange, West Orange. What is the oranges? And we just riding. Just to ride. Just, come on, man. We riding. Past West Orange. Then we remembered, because we went to geography class at least one day, and said, well, if we're going through West, East got to be that way. I was almost hoping you wasn't here so you'd never see how embarrassed I am. But next time we'll know how to find it smoothly. I don't take the position of other people. I don't take the positions that Africans supposed to wait. I believe in discipline and being on time. But I'm Wrong Way Jones. And I was the navigator. And it won't happen again. We end by saying African people must love each other. To love each other, you must demonstrate to our behavior that we're willing to sacrifice to take this thing to another level. We end by saying that the death of African people by the millions daily is unacceptable, and this genocidal process doesn't last forever. Somewhere along the line, you're going to run out of people. Yes, sir. Africa. Easy laid. So we must understand clearly that these are serious times. They kill your babies right up in front of you. The Christian right capitalized on the murder and the carnage. The 700 Clubs is on television in almost every African state. The control of information is beginning to get locked down. They brag about there's more information, there's more bullshit. Information you got to find. And I say to you, it is a privilege to be African, but Africans must unite. It is a privilege to be African, but Africans must unite. Times are hard and friends are few. I scream in pain, brother, where are you? Times are hard and friends are few. Brother man, where are you? Storm over the anthill. There's such a famine in the wind. A war for liberation's begun. Little boys become men. Storm over the anthill. Who's my pa? Mother, is she with us? Better check how far. How far? How far? Times are hard and friends are few. I scream in pain, brother, where are you? Times are hard and friends are few. Brother man, where are you? No time for jiving. There's a job to be done. Love those who are comrades. There's a war to be won. Hey, queen, hold my hand. Soul, truth, and wisdom, they're at my command. I'm saying, child, brace yourself. Hold your tears. We'll all die now, then to suffer for years. I'm saying, times are hard and friends are few. I scream in pain, brother, where are you? Times are hard and friends are few. Brother man, sister lady, where are you? I thank you.
Another white guy from South Africa. And I thought if he had a revolutionary thought, he would have abstained from fighting the brother. What do you think he should do or What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think it's basically our fault. We believe because we do not know what revolution is, that there's been a revolution in Azania. There's been no revolution. It's the only thing that slipped into neo-colonialism. And after Jomo Kenyatta came and be the head of the revolution in Kenya, after being in jail for years and serving the interests of white supremacy all his working days, we should have known that the trick, that revolution means that the land changed hands. If the land has not changed hands, there's been no revolution. If all you got is a theme song and all you have is a flag, there's been no revolution. Revolution will happen when 87% of the people who only have 13% of the land, when they control all of their land. When they control the institution. A brother, educator from South Africa was on CNN complaining that there has been no schools for black people. Well, if we had won a physical war in South Africa, see, armed struggle has its cleansing process. Then we wouldn't be worried about our children in the same schools with the roof leaking, with old board textbooks. So the sham independence in South Africa has to be revealed for what it is. Neo-colonialism. True revolution would have dumped them little ugly white kids out of our school in our land and put our beautiful black children in them. So the whole world thinks that there has been liberation. And some of the slowest among us are athletes. So we knew already going in when a man fights and gets punched in the face for a living, he ain't too bright. That he don't know that his brains is in his head. Yeah. The whole thing, let's look at another thing. We are so liberal and want to be with white people so much that in the middle of a war, me and Martin Luther King could be in the foxhole. And the white man yelled, "Martin, Martin, come out, come out." I said, "What's the matter with you, Martin? Be cool." "Martin, Martin King, come out." "I gotta go." "Where you gotta go, man? You in the foxhole with me." "Martin, I gotta go." "Martin, Martin, on behalf of white supremacy, you get the Nobel Peace Prize." How do you take a prize in the middle of the war from the enemy? No one answered that question. My whole youth, I answered that question. Bishop Tutu, come out, come out. On behalf of white supremacy, you get the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, this last one did it. Nelson Mandela, come out, but bring the clerk with you. And y'all gonna share this award. Do anybody know who Albert Nobel was? What did he come up with? Dynamite. That's their idea of peace. So the sham, because we're not doing critical thinking, and there's nothing wrong with us. We're not backwards. We're not ignorant. We're just not used to thinking with Pan-Africanist thought. We criticize each other. 95% of my criticism of another brother or sister is definitely criticism with affection. There are some that are treasonous I have no affection for. I said they got to be taken out. But the 95% who don't know or use and abuse, let me tell you, Nelson Mandela knows he don't run that country. Oppenheimer still runs that country. De Beers Diamond still own that country. The reason why they had to get South Africa, and this has to be told, this is why I say you have to know African politics. We whipped the white boy's butt in a place called Quitaquatavao in Angola. The South African troops had pushed up through Namibia into Angola and used to come and slaughter and rape our people at will. Well, we trapped that army with a Pan-African force consisting of soldiers from Guinea, Angola, and the Cuban soldiers. Yet we never come to the aid of Cubans, see?
When you don't know, the number one principle of Mayat we should never forget is reciprocity. We should always remember, we should be behind Castro now. We have contradictions, but we know what he did in Angola. So we were going to kill that whole army in Quito Quatavao. And the white boy said, wait a minute. What if we left? Angola never came back. Oh, say, oh, you ain't coming back. Not where we sending you. All right, wait a minute. What if we turned Namibia over to SWAPO? That's interesting. That's not enough. Well, what if we dismantled apartheid and brought out Nelson Mandela? That's how he got free, through the gun. It wasn't through the soft heart. Look it up. Matter of fact, in my new newspaper, which I'm going to send here, I don't know whether anybody's seen my paper, The Eye of the Storm. Well, it'll be out soon. That's one of the big stories. Through the gun, we liberated it. Okay? Because that's how. How did they take our shit? With the gun. I mean, they didn't pray it away from us. You know? So in the middle of this Holocaust, we forget how we won. The reason why they had to fight so much to free up Southern Africa is that's where the strategic materials to run the space program, the nuclear capabilities, the gold and diamonds, especially industrial diamonds, okay? They would have crumbled if we just controlled the southern region. And from Zimbabwe to Namibia, we had them surrounded. We know they couldn't hold it. Sometimes we come to the peace table too soon because we don't like war. As much as the barbarians they may say we are, we can't touch these people when it comes to war. War is their norm. They were warlike before we came along. And when they have a war, millions of people die. Shall I cite World War I, World War II? But let's also cite the people of Vietnam. There were more bombs dropped in Vietnam than in all of World War II. And they chased the Americans out with their drawers on fire. Because a people united in culture can never be defeated. So the boxer doesn't know because the politician doesn't even know. The whole boycott, the whole thing about Botswana, Sun City, that whole thing, we were involved in boycotting South Africa then. But now the Negro bourgeoisie, if you see Jesse Slaxton, Dr. J, and all of them put their money together and have a little concession to bring Pepsi Cola to South Africa. Your indigenous bourgeois, that's why you got no class struggle. We have a race and a class problem. That if we don't understand the class problem, we wonder why our upper class, Marcus Garvey said it better than I could ever say it. He said, we're a race of people that the people, our doctors and lawyers and the high learned, are the biggest traitors to the race and have no loyalty. So that's why, because this sham independence is going around, and African people are still on the bottom rung. But one last thing on that. We've always supported the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania. We've always supported Steve Biko movement, the Black Consciousness movement, which was a consolidation of many different movements from labor and different types of movements. When Nelson Mandela was brought forth, the very people that we tried to help us with the canned food drive for refugees and clothing jobs for refugees in the neighboring countries of Azania wouldn't help us. Now they walked up to me, Brother Dow, you going to see Mandela? I said, no, I ain't going to see no Mandela. You're not down with that? I said, we've been fighting Mandela for years. Have you ever read the Freedom Charter? He was always an integrationist. Integration won't do. Well, I support him. People lined up out in the street. A ticker tape parade for a black revolutionary in New York. Come on. Critical thinking should have told you something was up. A ticket to, Yankee Stadium full of people. And Mandela walked on with a New York Yankee jacket and a New York Yankee cap. And he said, now you know who I am. I'm a Yankee. On Ted Koppel's show that night, Reverend Butts, you know him, but he asked a good question. He said, in the light of Tawana Brawley, Bensonhurst, and the other incidents, do you really think the United States government will really be good for the people of South Africa? You know what he said? I do not dabble in the internal politics of another nation. I said, you flaming faggot. We fought, we demonstrated, we raised money for our brothers and sisters in Azania. And you mean when it comes to my tribe, nobody never has tried for my tribe. We helped the people in Zimbabwe. We went to Zimbabwe and half those ambassadors and people with the liberation movement who hired out my house, put my family at risk, who we fed, clothed, and protected, wouldn't even see us. Well, let me tell you something. We are a tribe, a common tribe that segues into the whole African family. And we want reciprocity. We never get it. We raise money. We raise so much canned food we couldn't find it. We don't ask for your thanks. We ask for reciprocity. Nowhere could I go when and if the United States gets on my ass. Nowhere. Secretary say you can come here and become a junior ambassador because you have dual citizenship. Nowhere are they seriously discussing we. We are a powerful tribe, and we need to stop getting dissed. A brother told us one time from Zimbabwe, he said, my Pan-African brothers, if you think when Robert Mugabe takes over Zimbabwe, they're going to want to struggle for Pan-Africanism, you're wrong. They're going to want their little kingdom. They want to become rulers and enriched. And you know how you look at somebody and you have much respect, but you don't know the answer. It has to play out. And it plays out. At this time in my life, I thought I'd be sitting across from the Indian Ocean writing poetry to a queen. But we know we can't leave now because we're about to be annihilated and everybody comes to the front. Everybody. But we're not respected. In Jamaica, they'll tell me, say, what's the difference between you and Farrakhan? I said, well, if you don't know, you got a problem. What, you're just more radical. Then that's the difference. You answered your own question. Well, what about, are you brothers and sisters in the United? I was on Muta Baruka's show. A caller calls and asks me a question like this. It seems to me that with OJ going on and all this, the black American ain't what he used to be. And I said, first of all, there's no such thing as a black American. Second of all, who are you talking to? And you asked them one-on-one, who are you talking to? What are we, shit? We're in the belly of the beast. And we'll fight ourselves to the last man. We ought to be respected like you, and we can have a Pan-African reality. Garvey went all over the world. When he came here, we were ready for him. We didn't see him as Jamaican. We seen him as African with one hell of a program. I know, brother, from going down in the southern region, there are brothers and sisters in the southern region that loves us to death. But they never come to power. Do you know in Zimbabwe, they got Harare and then they got Old Harare, which is the ghetto? Do you know as me and Deke walked through Harare on our first night in Zimbabwe, that it was manned by African troops, that Africans are not allowed to walk to downtown Zimbabwe at night because Oppenheimer said he don't want niggers in town. So when you travel with your eyes open, and as a war correspondent, I can't report from home or Ivory Tower. I got to go see what's happening and who's doing what. But in South Africa, I was always impressed. We was in Zimbabwe, to make a long story short. And they were going to have, they had the boss, what's his name? Bruce Springsteen. all these people, and some silly little girl named Tracy Chapman. And they're going to have this big show. What they were really having a show to secretly break the boycott of South Africa. So they had the party in Zimbabwe. Do you know that as we were out there, that the Black consciousness movement came in, all these South Africans have legitimately came across a border that I can't even come by without papers. That's a problem, isn't it, brother? In Africa, the balkanization in these so-called states that they carved up at the Berlin Conference crossed ethnic lineage barriers and tribal lines and everything. So we should be able to move in Africa freely. But we're going to have to get those dictators and military leaders out of here. But the equivalent to them is the Wilson Goods who drop bombs, the Marion Barrys, and these collaborators. And let me say this while the camera is rolling. Farrakhan was offered the money from Gaddafi to go into Zaire and meet with Mobutu Sese to ask him, would they allow Arab troops to come up through Zaire, or what we know as Congo, and attack the southern Sudan. And you brothers and sisters who know about war, the fighting is up here, then the women and children are down here. That's what, no Arab give you no $1 billion. Come on, y'all. They don't nobody give you nothing. Especially $1 billion. And they were going to come through Zaire, Arabs now. Remember, Arabs couldn't take Africa without collaboration. So when you hear somebody's getting personally now, $1 billion, you know how much, that's more than the gross national product of a lot of our nations that go to our people. When somebody getting paid, check out, follow the money trail. And we must understand that. It's not no argument over Islam or anti-Islam. It's an argument of politics and politricks. Could you imagine how we would feel if we woke up and CNN said that Arab troops have come through the south of the Sudan and now are wiping out the Sudanese people, and they came through Zaire? Let me tell you, in case you don't know who Mobutu is. Mobutu is the sucker, Colonel Joseph Mobutu, whose wife's name was Marie Antoinette Mobutu, who helped take Lumumba down. He's been in power ever since. There are no hospitals in Zaire. He allowed the Center for Disease Control to test Ebola in Zaire on his people. He is one of the richest men on the earth. He stays in a palace guarded by Korean troops. That's why I say, once you study what's happening in Africa, you would have no problem of understanding the whole deal. So when they say coming through the Sudan, they're desperate. The Arabs got money but no land. They'd pay anybody to get some of that sweet African land. So with Mobutu and the Arabs and the Farrakhans operating in the north, and with Mandela and Oppenheimer and them coming to the south, Africa is under siege. It's something that if we know, we can reverse. It's something we don't pretend we know. Now, I don't get no points to this. You should see my email. I don't get no points for having it and getting a bad position where I've got to tell it on other Africans. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. And one of the biggest reasons why Farrakhan can operate is fear. We never brought closure to the death of Malcolm X, to the point that his sister said, his daughter said, to hell with it. If the men ain't gonna do it, I'll do it, damn it. By any means necessary. I know who killed my daddy. We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
No, we didn't check then. Swear to God, we finna get all this money. Watch what I tell you.
Touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they show. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I shit. I gotta say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. Elegba, Oshun, and Obatala. And I say I shit. Mokio, I shit, and I say I shit, and Oya, and Shango, and Yemoja. I got it, currency in my pocket, nature around my neck, front and center I rock it. Never tuck them, so folk wanna touch them, they need to stop it. Trying to find them on lines like mine, you never cop it. My LK is living, reason why I be winning. Jealous of my position, but I'm just at the beginning. Demonizing the forces, no intercourses I'm giving. Christians feel like I'm sinning the way the heavens be bending for me. I'm in the flow, I get the dough, I'm giving more, it's reciprocal. Every dose could be poison or be medicinal. Truth is blatant to those who know what to listen for. Yeah, a treasure chest in every mic check. Steady in the altitude and we ain't on the flight yet. Calling me the champion, I ain't even won the fight yet. Mooch is sticking to us for that juju that they might get. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they show. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I shit. Somebody say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. Egungo, Babaluaye, and Eva. And I say I shit. Mokio, I shit. And I say I shit. Ochosi, Ogun, and Orumila.
Got them holy beads around my neck. Them sacred guides on deck. Yep, it gets protection all around. Kosi Wahala, big blessings abound. I'm open to receive all the things this universe is laid at my feet, and I'm walking yellow brick road and laid with gold. Oh yeah, I get it from my mama, she reigning on her throne. La de Koju, Oriye Oshun, Hell Sweet Water Goddess, keep that blade and some honey. Lord, she just keep going, hard to stop when she gets started. A river flowing, anointed from head to toe, baptized, got Orisha by my side, then my eagle all around, ain't nothing stopping me now. Full force on them, full glow on them. Spirit realm said go, so I move for them, a walking altar.
And I say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. And I say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. And I say I shit. they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they show. Hey, don't touch my elake. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean.
Yeah, see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! We done hit him, Baba. 10, 2, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. God. 20. Good day. Who this messing my count up? Alive here, bruh. I told you we was gonna hit. Yeah. Shoot, I'm counting me and Baba out right now. I'm waiting on Sunday to come out, hit her. We good. She finding out right now. We checking in. Hold on. Good. About to hit him again.
Knowledge bomb. What's the science, baby?
Like it's happening.